success stories told by the people who lived them.
We're going to have some guests on this show that everybody knows, and we're going to have guests on this show that nobody knows yet.
One by one, Nick Hyder is adding hits to the Hitstreak.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I am your man, Nick Hyder, and joining me today in the Hit Lab, I got an extra special treat for you, folks. Check it out. He is a lifestyle entrepreneur, the author and founder of The Happy Hustle, and a top 1% globally ranked podcast host. Folks, he's in town hanging out with me today this weekend. Help me welcome Cary Jack. Cary, thanks for hanging with me today, brother.
Oh, man. Nick, honored to be here, brother. This is an amazing studio, I got to say. And yeah, just stoked to rock the mic and add a bunch of value to you and everyone out there.
He's batting 1,000, folks. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Well, I got to get right into it just because it's such a catchy phrase. It's such a catchy title. Bro, how in the world do you put the happy into your hustle?
Yeah, man. Well, it starts by measuring your life in 10 different areas. I call them 10 different alignments. And ultimately, what you measure, you can manage, right? So for me, I measure myself in these 10 different areas of life in order to achieve blissful balance, both personally and professionally. Because I believe truly, in all honesty, that balance equals happiness. And that's where I went awry back in the day. Mm-hmm.
Well, man, it's, you're supposed to, I find that what I like the most is where I apply the most, you know what I mean? That's where I spend the most of my time. That's why I work the hardest. And, and I gotta say, dude, like the cover of the book, the logo on your shirt, the emoji with kind of like the beat up eye. How'd you guys come up with that? Like, I gotta know, it's probably one of my favorite logos I've ever seen.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Like if I didn't wear my boots today, I would show you. I got it tattooed on my ankle in Bali under the influence originally.
Oh, you're in then.
And no, this was before I even started the company.
No, okay.
Yeah, I was over there just partying, running amok. I lived in, we can kind of get into the backstory, but I was over there in Southeast Asia for a while. And I was out, doing my thing, and this girl was like, "Oh, you want to go get tattoos?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And so I was like, "Well, what can I get tattooed?" And I thought about it, like in life, you're going to get punched in the eye. You're going to have adversity strike.
That's right.
But you can persevere past it with positivity. And that's where that little simple smiley face came in. It was like, you can smile through the adversity. You can persevere past the adversity with positivity. And so I drew this little smiley face, a little red X, and I was like, put it on my ankle, like it's like on the inner ankle. And she ended up not even getting a tattoo. I think she knew the tattoo guy, and she like did this with all her guys that she was playing with. So she was probably making a little kickback. But
she had an affiliate deal with a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And anyway, so then when it came time to start the company and get a logo, I just was like literally sitting like this, and I just looked at my ankle. I'm like, no, that's it. And my cousin, he runs a graphic design studio down in Florida, and he put it together for me. And it's kind of like, did its thing. I feel like people like resonate with being a happy hustler, like putting the happy in their hustle, because this like grind culture, where we're glorifying working on the weekends and not seeing your family, all for profit, success, ego, status, which is stuff that I was pushing for when I was younger.
Right.
It's at a point now where like burnout, unfortunately is like an epidemic taking place. And that's kind of how it started.
Man, that was powerful, dude. Like, so first of all, big shout out to our friends over at Bren Builders Group for making this connection right here, man. Like, dude, I swear, like one of the only regret I have with working with Bren Builders is that I didn't start like 4 or 5 years sooner, you know?
Yeah. And they are not even that old. They only are 4 years old. And I was one of their first clients with my original business partner in the biohacking space. That's how I was running a biohacking company, actually. We were working with, Fortune 500 CEOs, Olympic gold medal athletes, soccer moms, everyone in between. But we came to Nashville to one of Rory and AJ's first Brand Builders Group events, right after they had the exit from the former. And we blew up that company. It was like a nice, mid 7-figure business. We did like 65,000 copies of our free plus shipping book through a funnel.
Wow.
And we had like millions of online, followers and impressions and a nice podcast going. And I was like, dang. And I was like number 2 of that company.
Yeah.
And so we went through the Brand Builders Group process for my business partner, who was like the face guy. And when I exited that company, I was like, oh, I got to do this for myself. So I went back through Brand Builders Group, and Jeremy's my strategist. And he hooked us up, and it was like, yeah, man, they're game changers. I tell you what, I was just with Rory the past couple of days, and I'm just so proud of him, what he's building. I'm so grateful for the support. He helped me with my upcoming book launch, and yeah, man, shout out to them.
Well, man, they're like, I want to stay there just for a second, just because, first of all, their Brand Builders Group is growing like nobody's business, man. It's growing fast, and they're really like in my mind, when it comes to building a brand, when you think about that, they're kind of like the guy at the top of Mount Rushmore they stand alone up there, man. Like, there's nothing else like it. Their framework, everything else, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about, so one of their bread and butter things that they're known for is the book launches. And that's something that you were going for. You were telling me a little bit about that. So folks, if you're watching with us today, I'm holding up a copy of The Happy Hustle. Now there's a second one coming out, the 2.0 version, right? And that's what you were just referencing when you were talking about with Rory and stuff. Just give me a little bit, the folks are like, what's the experience like when you work with them on a book launch? And because they're working with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have a proprietary formula to become a best-selling author legitimately. There's a lot of people out there selling snake oil, buying their own books. It's like kind of gaming the system. Yeah. Rory calls it a herd of nerds. They have a whole formula on how to actually do it right. He leverages his herd of nerds to get all the data points. If you are looking to really spread your message and using a book as the vehicle, there's no one better in the world doing it. They have 23 best-selling authors in the last 18 months.
I know, it's incredible.
And it's like they got a formula. So
they need to start calling it the Brand Builders Group bestseller list at this point in time. Right? Because it feels like that's all the only people on there anymore.
Dude, I know. I mean, so yeah, they have a whole process, and it's I will say it's not easy. Like even still with the process, like you got to do the work. You got to leverage relational equity. You have to really put in the work to give before you need it. Dig your well before you're thirsty, right? And that way, when you are launching a book, this is a little note for anyone out there who has a business. You got to dig your well before you're thirsty and really build that relational equity so that when it is time to spread your message and to lean on those relationships, that you can, leverage them. And
amen.
And that's kind of, they have a whole process on how to do that. And that's what I was doing the past 2 days with Rory. And, I'm excited about it because like I feel so passionate about helping people put the happy in their hustle, avoiding burnout like I did. I mean, we can get into it a little bit with the backstory if you want, but I burnt out. So I feel uniquely qualified to talk about it. And so my new book is all about how to avoid burnout and achieve this blissful balance both personally and professionally. And, we say it's entirely enhanced and radically revised. We hired experts, shout out to Story Builders and they went through, we did a whole, like redesign, added science and data and research on happiness. We did new graphics design, there's an acronym for every single alignment. It's very sticky. And then there's action tasks, because, like in the self-development, world, there's a lot of people talking about theory, and there's not so many people talking about how to actually implement it and execute, right?
Agreed.
The application of the knowledge is really what can change your life. And that's what this book, I believe, can do.
So let's just, let's unpack that for a minute. I'd love to do that. So for me, burnout for me has never been a quitting moment or even a finishing moment. For me, it's always been like, for me, it's all my wife and my kids. If I get a certain amount of time on my wife and my kids, I don't need anything else, and I can go the rest of the time chasing the dreams we got and on the journey. Right? I actually love doing what I do. I love the hustle.
Yeah.
However, the only time I resent the hustle is if I'm not getting fed by my family.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So what do you see the differences are in a lot of the people that you've worked with and over time and everything else? Because I'm not to some people maybe they might like to golf or whatever else, and they have to get those things to quote unquote balance their life. What are some of the things that you see, and how would you help like old Nick Hyder over here? You know what I mean?
Well, and let me just say, balance kind of gets a bad rap. Like,
I agree.
I do not believe balance is a finite destination. I believe it's a never-ending journey, and it requires constant tweaks and adjustments and pivots. And if you're feeling froggy, Nick, I'll just put you through the assessment right here live on.
Let's
the spot.
go. I'm in.
If you're courageous enough to be honest with me, and
I am.
I'm gonna put you through the assessment I do with all the happy hustlers that come in my ethos, my ecosystem. And
bro, I win. Like, you know what I'm saying? People probably pay really good money for this here.
Let's go. Okay, all right. And for everyone out there right now, if you're watching and listening, like, don't just be a passive listener on this. Like, be an active participant and get a piece of paper out and a pen, or use your phone or whatever, and actually give yourself a score in each of these 10 different areas of life. Okay. So, and this is really what I did. Like, just a real quick, when I burnt out, I was a tech entrepreneur, if you can believe it, in New York City, grinding my damn face off, working like a dog,
right?
100+ hour weeks, like stress to the max, not prioritizing faith, family, fitness, fun, nothing but work. And when I burnt out, we actually were doing some big things. Like, we built this tech algorithm, that was quantifying feedback. My brother and business partner and best friend, all the same person. Shout out to Grant.
That's
brother.
Awesome.
And we had this 7-figure VC funding deal, partnerships with Microsoft and IBM on the table. So much stuff going, a big 5-year exit, looming. And I actually burnt out. Like, I was so unfulfilled, so unhappy. So I ended up moving to Bangkok, Thailand, and I folded the company. I
feel like this is that script from The Hangover. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy cow.
Dude. And they actually thought I was B. Coop over there. Like, I was signing autographs,
That's awesome.
I was in the Hangover 2 suite. It was like, I got pictures. I'll show you.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is, I was over there and I started to put the happy in my own hustle. I started looking at my life holistically, like, what are these 10 different areas of life that I need to focus on, right? And so that's where this whole shtick came from. It's like, I need to scratch my own itch. I was burned out. I was unhappy, unfulfilled. So it was in Thailand where I started to make my first dollars online through like webinars and like personal development, stuff like that. And I had like a penthouse for like $400 a month, living like a king,
yeah, man.
Just doing the dang thing for almost a year. I was over there traveling Southeast Asia, and, that's where the happy hustle was born. Okay. So now fast forward to the assessment, because I wanted to give context where this actually came from. It started with just, identifying in my own self, like where I was lacking in my life. Right. And for this assessment, you need a rubric, right? Like, what are you scoring yourself? I wasn't much for school, but I do know the grading scale. Okay.
That's right.
So A, is like a 5. You're crushing it, right?
A's a 5.
A's a 5, okay. And then a 1 is like an F, like you're failing, right? And then subsequently, 2, 3, and 4, you can figure it out. But an A is like you are happy hustling in this area right now. One is like you are significantly lacking. You need to prioritize change, right? So give yourself a score. Okay, so I want you to give yourself a score in each of these 10 different areas. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Everyone out there, like, be an active participant on this one. I'm telling you, it will be very telling where your life is out of balance.
I can't believe that, we were talking about this last night with, I had a bunch of guys, Brad and I had a bunch of guys hanging out, and we were like, everybody can get better. This is literally an opportunity to do work with a specialist right now. Like, why in the world would I not want to get better? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about. So you go in with your eyes and heart wide open, baby, and let's rock and roll. So
man.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
Well, in order to grow, you need to know.
That's right. Come on.
So you are going to find out where you're lacking right now. Now, key caveat, just for the last 30 days, I want you to assess yourself.
Okay.
This isn't like your whole life. It's too difficult to quantify it. Last 30 days. Okay.
Got it.
So we're going to kick things off. And this is the 10 alignments of being a happy hustler. It makes up an acronym, soul mapping, your soul's map to the blissfully balanced promised land.
Got it.
Okay. So the S in soul mapping, the first of the 10 alignments, is selfless service.
Okay.
Right? Selfless service. Are you living for yourself, in your own personal gain, or are you giving back to others selflessly? And ask yourself truly, like, are you giving? And we have acronyms for all of them, but like for this one, it's GIFT. Give, insight, finances, and time. Are you giving your insight, your finances, and your time to people and causes that you believe in? And that's not business related, by the way.
Okay.
Like, there's no, I'm mentoring somebody who's probably going to work for me. And then it's like, a roundabout way of getting an intern. Like, that's different, right?
20 to 30 hours a week average for me right now.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, that's
fact.
epic.
Fact. Well, I got kids, and we pour into our kids, pour into the kids community. I coach my son's baseball team. That's 25 hours a week right there, 10 months out of the year.
So, and I'm going to be a stickler with you.
Come on.
That wouldn't technically qualify as self-service.
Okay. We serve at church. I serve on 2 nonprofits.
Okay, the church, yes.
Serve on 2 nonprofits.
There you go.
We give out scholarships.
Awesome. So the kids' baseball team would fall into loving relationship.
Got it.
So I'm just going to...
Even though, like, there's 11 other sets of parents that I have to talk to almost daily and work with their kids, bro. It's a big deal. It's a $50,000 budget.
That's true.
On that team. I mean, it's a job.
Right. But it also comes with a lot of reward by helping your son, your family grow, right? So that would fall into loving relationships, which is another alignment, right? So
perfect.
Selfless service is giving, like, selflessly to causes and people that you believe in that are outside of your inner circle.
I give myself a 4 on that one just because there's some stuff that we want to do that we're not yet.
Okay.
Right? So we want to do a bunch of stuff with the Sentinel Foundation.
Awesome.
And we're working with them on launching it, but it ain't done yet.
Love it.
So we got work to do.
Right. So write down your score. We're going to tally them up at the end. And everyone out there, write down your score. Okay.
Got it.
So that's the S.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, optimized health, right? Optimized health, are you mentally, physically, emotionally optimized? And I know you're shredded, you're in great shape, but like, how do you actually feel? What would you quantify yourself? And, I know we're our own toughest critics, especially entrepreneurs.
That's right.
Right. But give yourself an honest ranking, 1 to 5. Like, are you feeling optimized in the health department, or are you shoving crap down the pie hole? Are you feeling lethargic?
Yeah. I would give myself so October is, we're in October when we're shooting this. It's Halloween, birthday, my wife's birthday, anniversary, fall break, all those things. I would give myself a 3 for this 30 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because, like, we had a great vacation.
Yeah.
It was fun, but I did not feel amazing when I came back. I felt energized, but like I was like, man, I got to get back at it. I'm gonna be tough on myself and give myself a 3 on that one.
Well, and we're both athletes, former athletes, so we have high standards. Right?
That's right.
So I get it, man. But yeah, you gotta have optimized health.
There's a couple of days, a little bit more sleep would have been ideal to perform at the highest level too. You know what I mean? And that falls into some health too, I guess.
Oh, dude, you're telling a guy who has a newborn right now.
That's right.
Like I'm in diaper deep and low on sleep right now.
That's right.
So,
okay.
But we have an acronym for all of these to optimize. So like whatever your score is, you follow the acronym to enhance it. And so this one is energy, right? It's exercise, nutrition, environment, rest, gallon, youth. And we don't have probably time to get into all of them, but that's, you can get the book if you're really interested in how to, truly enhance your score.
Where can they get the book, the first book? Where can they get it?
Yeah, you can just go to thehappyhustle.com/book.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. But so now we got, the S and the O of the soul mapping, right? Okay. Now we're at the U.
Okay.
Unplugged digitally. Oh man, this is a tough one.
Yep.
For all the business professionals and entrepreneurs out there.
I already know it's bad, but go ahead. You're going to explain it.
Oh, baby. This is a tough one for us because, we use our devices.
That's right.
But are they using you? Are you addicted to your device? Are you constantly watching Netflix or listening to podcasts or on YouTube or on the IG scrolling? Like, it's addicting, man. Our mammalian brains are outgunned by the Silicon Valley, individuals just coding away, like making them so addictive. But we have to be in control of our devices and really create barriers. And so give yourself a score, 1 to 5 right now.
I would give myself in the last 30 days a 2 on that one.
Yeah.
A 2 on that one, just because it has been not as intentional as it could be, right? And I've actually caught myself like when you look up and you see all the beauty around you, including my family, it's like, put that phone back in the pocket.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. And I'll tell you the real reason it's a 2 is because it's my 14-year-old. It's been an issue for him, and he follows the example of me, right?
Yeah,
so I'm gonna, just based on the fact that he's spending too much time on it, I'm going to give myself a 2. I want to thank all of our loyal fans that spread across all 50 states and 14 different countries. It's absolutely amazing. Folks, help us keep spreading the word, right? Share your favorite episodes with friends and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the Hitstreak on all digital platforms. Thanks again, and we look forward to more.
It's tough. Like, I totally resonate. The acronym for this one is BREAK. And so it's barriers, recharge, eliminate, airplane mode, and keep your word to yourself. So barriers simply I want to stay on this one for a beat because barriers are, 30 minutes in the morning when you wake up, don't touch your device.
That's right.
30 minutes before bed, like be tech free, turn off the TV, connect with your partner, read a book, whatever, and then recharge. Like when your devices are recharging, you should be recharging. Eliminate it. Man, I'll tell you what, a dopamine detox. I make more money on my quarterly dopamine detoxes. It's a week of no dopamine, no YouTube, no the cell phone, no social media. Like obviously I use my phone and computer for work still, but I don't use it for dopamine hits. Right. And man, I'm always shocked when I'm just dialed in and focused and getting her done. It's crazy how much more you produce.
I agree.
Right. And then the airplane mode. Airplane mode is such an amazing feature. You could just put your phone, if my phone's on airplane mode right now because we're rocking the mic, I'm 100% here.
That's right.
And then the K, keep your damn word to yourself.
Let's go.
Come on. So that's the U, the unplug digitally. Right. So we got the SOU, right? Now we're at the L, loving relationships. What is it all for, man, if you don't have love in your life?
That's right.
How many successful, rich, people do I know that are just so unfulfilled. They don't have love. They're crushing in their business, but their family life is in shambles.
Yeah.
Their husband doesn't know them or even care about them barely. That's right. And their kids are distant and it's sad.
Yeah.
It is sad. And that's not success for me. That's not happy hustling.
Got it.
And so for me, loving relationships is really what it's all about. You got to give yourself a score, 1 to 5, where you're at in the last 30 days.
On that one, I'm a 5. That's something that stays on the forefront of everything we're intentional about. Family's on board with it. It's something we talk about on a daily or weekly, if not daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're all very, very intentional about. We're super tight.
Good, man. Yeah. And listen, I sit here today not as the guru. Like I am just the reporter, truly.
Right.
Like I work on this stuff all the time. I literally take my own assessment every Sunday.
That's
and
right.
I look at what's wrong with the week prior and where I need to prioritize change accordingly.
That's right.
So like I am humble enough to say I'm not the expert here in any of this. I just know what works when I look at where I'm lacking and then I prioritize change accordingly. That's where this comes into play.
Love it, man. That's awesome.
So loving relationships, the acronym there is LOVER, and LOVER is actually how to diffuse a situation with someone you care about. It could be a colleague. It could be your wife or husband or partner. It could be your kids. And we talk about like how to actually get through a controversy. LOVER, listen, observe, voice, empathize, and then repair. Right.
That's right.
So it's like, this is how, you can work through. And I know I'm going acronym crazy, an acronym within an acronym, super meta, right?
Bro, it's framework, man. Everybody needs better framework. Everybody needs better framework.
Going back to like, if you want a little business hack within, this assessment, it's creating your own IP. You got to create your own IP. I mean, that's how you have a true impact. I don't do it for legacy per se, but if you were striving to do one, you need your own IP.
Amen.
Right. So that's the soul part. Okay. So you should have 4 scores. Everyone out there, right?
4, 3, 2, 5.
Okay. Sitting pretty good. So now we're getting to the mapping part.
Let's go.
Okay. Mapping part. The first one, the M, mindful spirituality. Mindful spirituality, like, I don't really care what you believe in, one religion or another. I just think you need to have faith in something bigger than yourself.
Agreed.
I just think it's important to have faith in a higher power. I'm very spiritual, not religious.
Right.
Like my mom's Jewish, my dad's Catholic. I was a religious mutt,
Yes, you are.
I'm a seeker. I trained like my childhood with the Taoist priests learning Kung Fu and all this. So I'm very much into Taoism. I'm into, still I learned, Jewish practices. I went to Israel for birthright.
That's awesome.
I've went to Christian church a bunch,
Yeah, man.
Just was talking to Rory all about religion. Like I'm a seeker, but I believe in a higher power. I pray every day. I think it's a very important part to being a happy hustler. You got to have faith in something bigger than yourself. It could be meditation, breath work, whatever, journaling. But yeah, give yourself a score in the last 30 days. How connected to a higher power do you feel?
I'm going to give myself a 5 on that one. Everything is centered around those things. Now, when I say it's a 5, this is in the last 30 days, right? So I still got to replicate that in the next 30 days.
Amen.
And I'm not saying that 5 is a perfect 5, but it's definitely a 5 on the scale for me.
Right.
But, I pray more today than I ever have in my entire life. That is just growing. That's for me. The people that talk about meditation or manifestation, even for me, that's prayer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where it comes from.
Yeah, man. Amen. So that's the M. Okay. Now we're at the A, abundance financially. And abundance financially is like literally what people think is the most important, right? Like they're like, oh, as long as you got money, you're good. You're happy hustling. And money's a part of the equation. Don't get it twisted. I love money.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know you love money. We all like money is a tool. It's an energy. It's a frequency. It makes you more who you are, but it's not everything. You know that. And when I look at abundance financially, it's asking yourself, do you have a system to save and invest and spend wisely? Right? Or are you living paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah.
Fear of your finances. Right. So give yourself a score right now, 1 to 5, where you're at with abundance financially.
I would give in the last 30 days, I would give myself a 3. And I would say one of the reasons for that is because going back to what we're talking about in the SOUL acronym, I've been so focused on service that the finance part kind of took a back seat, but that's usually the finance comes along from that service, and but you can always get better. Tell me what you think about this. You go to school most people go to school for at least 13 years and they get graded, man-made school, man-made the grades. And that's how you're doing in your curriculum.
Yeah.
And I don't know who asked me this question years and years and years ago, but they were comparing it to school. And they said, all right, well, man made money too. So if now that you're out of school, if if you graded your businesses based on the revenue and the money that you have, what grade would you make?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? What grades are you making? And I was like, dang, that's pretty good, dude. So right now I'd say I'm in the last 30 days, as far as finance goes, I'd be a C student. We got to fix that.
Listen, man. And you are tough on yourself. I already know, like you're a go-getter, man. You're type A driven. Like we're always tough on ourselves. But I do want to mention something, especially when it comes to abundance financially. I call it the more disease.
Got it.
You crave more. When you get infected with the more disease, you want more money, more followers, more clients, more everything. And like, it's like this disease that gets you. And you have to cure yourself with gratitude.
I agree. Like, one of the biggest things from the abundance of money, there's literally like 2 organizations that we want to do more for, and it's a money thing.
Yeah.
And I've got to go and create those outlets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm upset that we don't have them, that we didn't have them when we needed them. Right. So we've got to go out and find them and create them.
Yeah. Listen, the fastest way to make more money, in my opinion, sharpen your sales sword. I love sales.
Come on, dude. That's awesome. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Like literally, I love sales. I've generated millions of dollars over Zoom calls, just selling literally one-to-one. And it's because I know how to actually, I'll go through my framework here. If you want, we can even stay here a minute, because I know people like are hurting. The economy's, it's tough right now.
Dude, this is gold.
I feel you. But like the roadmap system is how I convert more prospects into actually paying customers. And the roadmap, it stands for R, rapport. You got to build the rapport. Like most people gloss over this. A sale can be won or lost in the first 30 to 60 seconds. You have to build the rapport properly, right? The O, obstacle. You have to figure out what's the pain, what's holding them back. Why are they talking to you, right? The A, the aspiration. Where do they want to go? What's the dream? And how can your product or service help them get there? Right? The D, demonstration. You got to demonstrate success from past clients and show how your product or service could help them fill that gap of where they are and where they want to go. Right? And then the map part, the M, you got to match them. I mean, when you sell the wrong people, it becomes a real pain in the butt.
Agreed.
You got to make sure it's the right client for you.
Man, you got to know who your client is for sure.
Dude, amen. And then the A, the ask, right? Like, you got to ask for the sale. You have, hey, is there any reason that you wouldn't take action on this today?
Man, it's amazing how many people don't ask for the sale. You know, I never got one date that I didn't ask for back in the day. You know what I mean? And I didn't get a lot of the ones that I did ask for too.
Dude, I know, right? You got to ask. And then the P, pull. Pull them in with ethical, keeping ethical.
That's right. Scarcity
and urgency. I can tell you right now, most people do not have ethical, scarcity, and urgency in their offer. And it's crushing their conversions. Ethical scarcity, like truly like, hey, you know, and again, I want you to be ethical here. If you have a coaching program and you're like, hey, I only have 5 slots, and then you sign up 6 people, you are out of integrity. And I'm a big man of integrity.
Amen.
You have to have integrity with your offers. Ethical scarcity, and then urgency. Give them a bonus, a reason to buy now. You know, when people say, oh, I'm going to think about it, like, unfortunately, people buy with emotion, but they justify with logic. You logically have to make it make sense. And you got to keep the emotion high. I give people a 3-hour window. Hey, you got 3 hours for this bonus with ethical urgency, or else it's gone.
Preach.
Right? And then if it's 3 hours and 2 minutes, you ain't getting it, because there goes my integrity if I give it to you. Right? So that's the roadmap system. That's how you can make more money if you actually follow that system. I have a whole like sales course on that if people want to go deeper. But I mean,
dude, I'll go as deep as you want to go, baby. Hey, I ain't scared. Let's go. Hey, I'm growing today.
Let's go. Me too. I'm growing every day. You know, it's a mindset, right?
That's right.
You talk a lot about mindset, but so that right there is the A, right? In the soul mapping. Okay. So now we're keeping on moving to personal development, right? Personal development, you know, are you growing and evolving, or are you shrinking and dissolving? Like those are your 2 options.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you're, you know, big into personal development. Like
I am.
That's what this podcast is all about. Everyone out there watching and listening, like kudos to you for tuning in when you could be watching anything else.
That's right.
Right. Like seriously, be proud of yourself.
That's right.
And the truth is, you know, it's not enough. you now have to take this information and then implement it, right? It's not just acquiring knowledge. I know multiple people with every Tony Robbins certification under the sun, and they're broke as a joke.
Yeah.
Like you can get a degree, you can go to all the courses and certification, but if you're not implementing and executing, it doesn't mean nothing.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
That's the P, personal development. Give yourself a score, 1 to 5.
That one, for the last 30 days, would be a 5. And for me, it's all based on proximity.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm definitely, there's some people that just feed me, you know, and I had a great amount of them in my life the last 30 days. Now, the 30 days before that, I can tell you right now, it's probably a 2.
Yeah.
It was just solely based on proximity.
Yeah. Yeah. Proximity is power, right?
That's right.
All right. Second P.
Okay.
Passionate hobbies. Passionate hobbies. Now, this is one I find a lot of high performers lacking in.
I can tell you right now, I'm going to be there.
Like, it's tough, man. You give to your family, you give to your friends, you give to your clients, give to your business. Are you giving to yourself? Mm-hmm. Are you prioritizing the things that fill you with joy? You know, for me, I love fly fishing. I love horseback riding. I love, bow hunting. I like, getting after it on the soccer field. We talked about sports. Yeah. Passionate hobbies, like that's stuff that fills my cup. That's so I can give from my overflow to all the other alignments, right? Yeah. But a lot of people, they don't do it.
Yeah.
Like training martial arts could be a passionate hobby. Painting could be a hobby, dance class, whatever. But do fun things. That's what, really will bring joy to your everyday existence, right? So give yourself a score right now in terms of passionate hobbies, 1 to 5. All
right. So I love what I do. However, I love being with my family. However, and I do get a lot with them, but like there are some things that I've been telling myself, like I do like to golf and I don't golf very often. I work out with my kid every day, but again, I'm gonna give myself a 2 just because I've been sitting in a with this specific one. I've been in the same spot for 2 years. And like, it's like, I'm gonna. One of my buddies and 2-time guest, Virgil Herring, is a golf pro and probably the best instructor on planet Earth. And he's like, dude, come hang. I'll help you. Come hang out with me. I'm like, I will. And then we still ain't done it yet. I'm gonna be a 2. Okay. I'm gonna be a 2. I got to get better at that.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you accountable right now. Mm-hmm. When are you gonna go golfing?
When am I going to go golfing? I'm going to go golfing so it's going to be too cold for golf for me next week. Okay. But all right. So, the next day that we get a day over 60, and it's in the next 3 weeks, I'm going. Whatever it is.
Okay. So you got 3 weeks.
I got 3 weeks to go golfing.
Okay.
What's
the consequence if you don't?
That's a good question. Help me with that. What is a good, how do I?
You want to know one that I use?
Yeah.
I donate to the opposite political party a sum that hurts.
Wow. Bro. Hold on a minute. Okay. It hurts. That's right. I can do that.
How much?
How much? Dude, honestly, $1 would hurt, but I'll go $250 to the.
How about a G?
A G? We could do a G.
Okay,
we could do it. That's gonna be brutal, bro. I'm gonna have to screenshot it and everything if I don't go golfing. I'm going golfing.
I'm gonna text you.
I got
3 weeks. What's 3 weeks from today?
3 weeks from today, we are at October 20. Oh, this is gonna be easy. I got a birthday coming up.
Good.
I'm going golfing on my birthday.
Good.
Right. So
when's your birthday?
November 4th.
Oh, happy early birthday. I'm November 27th. So
my man.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks from today, it's the Saturday. So the 4th is a week from today, then the 11th, and then by the 17th. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll go. Virgil, I'm coming, baby. We're going golfing.
Let's go. See, and that's it right there. What we just did. Mm-hmm. That's how, and I know we're not cousin, but that's how you get shit done.
Yeah, dude.
You create consequences.
Oh, seriously, $1 to the other political party. It's just like, oh man,
right?
It sucks.
Okay,
it sucks, and there's 1,000 reasons to go golfing now,
dude. Consequences create commitment.
Yes, sir.
I just made that up, but I might actually have to write that down.
What was that? I'm gonna write that down because that might be part of our show title today.
Okay, consequences create commitment. Yeah. But that's the truth, man. Like with all this stuff, you got to have clear goals with consequences included.
Yeah. Now right? I am good at doing what I say I'm going to do for the most part. So I'll knock that out.
Yeah. Okay. Keep on moving. We got I, impactful work. Okay. Impactful work, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there sacrificing their soul for a paycheck. Like, it's sad to me. It is. I mean, and I know these are like cheesy buzzwords.
With no end in sight, too, right?
With no end in sight.
Yeah.
But like, I believe, you have to have passion, which is that like inward calling on your heartstring, mixed with purpose, which is like, who are you serving? That outward serving mission to actually make a positive impact. Like, you got to be striving. You got to combine the passion, the purpose, and the positive impact to have impactful work.
Get it.
And, for me and you, I know we're very passionate about what we do, where it almost doesn't even feel like work. Like, this doesn't feel like work.
No, I love this.
Like, dude, we're just broing out and having a ball. I'm having a ball. Connor looks like he's having a ball. Get a shot on Connor. Come on. Connor, love. But anyway, the truth is, like, passion, passion, purpose, positive impact, like, that's what it's all about. Putting the happy in your hustle every day, finding joy in the journey. Now, let me be clear. Like, I had to earn the right to do what I love. And I know you did too.
That's right.
Like, dude, I've done a lot of things for money, most of them, which I'm not proud of. I used to wear the banana suit at a smoothie joint.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was out front, like, shaking for tips.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I
Is there any footage of this?
Dude, hopefully not. I mean, I used to, if you can believe it, I even took my clothes off for money one time, maybe more than one. After Magic Mike, I got inspired and I was like, I could do that, did some bachelorette parties. Like, dude, I've bartended. I've been a construction worker. Dude, I've done the gamut.
You've been all the village people.
Dude, I was selling illegal things for a hot minute, had the FBI after me. I was in jail for doing it. I learned the hard way. You know? Like, I've done things for money that I'm not proud of. And I feel, I used to be a professional model and actor. Like, I still have agents that, just had a gig. I've done all sorts of things for money.
Yeah, man.
It's so cool when you can earn the right to do what you love and get paid to do it.
That's right.
Like, how cool, how blessed.
That's right.
And like, again, I'm going to say it. It is not, something I take for granted, being born a white male in America.
That's right.
Like, we hit the lottery. Like,
facts.
I don't take that for granted.
No, absolutely.
Because look around the world, like, we are blessed.
Absolutely.
We have an obligation with that blessing to serve.
Man, my wife and I got to we went to the National Prayer Breakfast last year.
Love it.
And we're ambassadors for that. And it's, dude, we got to hang out with, I can't remember how many hundreds of countries were there and the relationships that were forged. I'm just going to tell you, like, everything, all the way down from an Uber driver to get to the Capitol that we take for granted. Yeah. These guys were like raving like it was the greatest thing they'd ever seen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's mind blowing how spoiled we actually are.
It's perspective.
Yes.
When you travel, you get perspective. That's why I think everyone needs to travel. I've lived abroad. Used to live in Barcelona. I lived in Bangkok. I lived in Brazil. When you travel, you get perspective. I spent significant time in Guatemala. My mom lives in Guatemala, actually, works with the Mayan people down there. It's perspective, and you cannot take it for granted. And I do my best to constantly remind myself of how blessed I am.
That changed my perspective in a good way. You know what I mean? And I don't know how everybody could do that, but like, you got to know what else is out there to and again, it just shows you how ungrateful as a population we've kind of become. Yeah. Without even, I don't think it's intentional, but it's a fact. And it's just because of what's the norm for us is still not like my wife and I have traveled abroad a lot and everything else. It's just, you go to some places that it's rough, man. It's truly, truly rough, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's everything that, and we've got some bad stuff here, but like nothing like that, I don't think.
Oh, dude, we're so spoiled. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever. It is what it is. This woke culture. Yeah. Choosing your gender. Yeah. Like, that is the effect of being spoiled as a society.
The Hit Streak is powered by our partners at HitLab Creative Studios. Whether it's launching your brand new podcast, rebranding your current podcast, or taking advantage of any of their other content packages specifically for your social media needs, the HitLab is a one-stop shop for you. Visit hitlabstudio.com for more. To me, it's so selfish, like, because we're so worried about ourselves, we forgot to look out and what we can do for others, you know? So for me, it's like, I'm going to tell a funny little story I've told a million times about my son. He was like I'll make it quick. He's 3 years old, first Christmas cantata at church, right? Yeah. So it's going to be cute. They're singing kinda and all that stuff. But the place is packed. Yeah. So we're backstage, and this is a kid that at 11 was cast as a lead in a Broadway musical. Okay. So, but at like 3 years old, I just remember somebody walked out of backstage, and you could see all the crowd and how packed it was. And he just looked at me and he said, "Dad, I don't think I want to do this." And I was like, "What do you mean, bro? You've did all the rehearsals. Come on, man. It's going to be great." "I don't think I want to do this." And I was like, "Well, what's the deal? Are you shy? Are you scared?" He goes, "I think I'm scared." I was like, "Well," he's like, "I don't know what shy means." And I was like, "Well, let me ask you a question. Who are all these people? Why are they all here?" He was like, "Well, to watch the show." I was like, "But think about your family and your friends and everybody that knows you. Why are they here?" He was like, "Well, they're here to see me." And I said, "Well, brother, like if you're like scared, if you're shy," I was like, "That's selfish." And my wife was like grabbing me, like, "What are you doing?" And I just said, "Bro, it's selfish because like they're here for you, and like, so you need to make it about them." And he said, "Oh, that was easy." Yeah. And then he walked right out, and he's never had a stage fright thing ever in his life or everything because of, being shy. He was making it about him instead of making it about the reason he was doing what he was doing, which was to perform for those people out there. Oh, yeah.
I mean, quote by Rory, "When the mission to serve is clear, there is no fear." Right? So we got to, start to serve others. Like if you in your business right now, again, want to make more money, want to have a bigger impact, think about how you can truly serve others. That's right. That's what business is. My buddy Wade T. Lightheart, he runs a 9-figure supplement company. Talks about businesses just solving people's problems at a profit. That's it.
That's right.
Solve people's problems at a profit.
That's right.
Right. So that's the I, impactful work. Bringing it home with the N, nature connection.
I got to give myself a score, don't I?
Oh yeah, give yourself a score. Yeah.
That's something that we keep on the forefront. I can always do better. Yeah. And I'm gonna say because of the financial portion where we fell short, we could have did more that way. I'm gonna give myself a 4 on that one.
Okay. And again, we have like the hustle dote. It's a formula for this. For the passionate hobbies, we got the 4 factors of fun. We got stuff to improve your score for all of these, rest assured. But for time's sake, we'll just leave it. The N, nature connection. Okay, nature connection is actually getting outside, enjoying this beautiful planet. And, oh, by the way, protecting it, being a part of the solution.
That's right.
I ragged on you about the plastic cup.
That's right.
Simple choices every day, man. Like, they make a difference. We can all be a part of the solution. I got another company with my brother and business partner called Eco Breakthroughs, and our whole goal is to invest in early stage eco startups as like a VC fund and be a part of the change, focusing on the triple bottom line, people, planet, and the profits, and supporting B corporations, sustainable organizations that are doing the right thing. Yeah. Right? Like we can all be conscious consumers, voting with our dollar every day, not just getting outside and going to a park, but like thinking about the future of how we can protect this park.
That's right.
Right? I live in Montana. I love Montana. The nature out there is unreal. That's why I live there. I'm out in the wilderness getting after it. We do a mastermind. That's why I take high-level entrepreneurs into the backcountry wilderness for 5 days, completely off the grid. We hike in about 10 miles. We're out in the middle of nowhere, grizzly bears, mountain lion, moose. We're in it, man. And, we bring a primitive survival expert, teaching them how to make bow drill fires and purify water and hunt their food. And we bring a fly fishing expert, teach them how to fish, and we really get them reconnected to nature, right? Like we teach them primitive workouts and breath work and meditation and cold plunges, all the things, but it's a business mastermind completely out in the wilderness.
Love
and
it.
They're starting to catch fire, man. It's crazy who's been hitting me up to come out there. I pick people up at the private airport on their private jets. They come out, they take a dump in the woods. I'm like cracking up. They're like talking about they're missing the bidet. That's
right.
It's like, it blows my mind what's happening out there. But the point is we rewild them, reconnecting them to nature.
Yeah.
Disconnecting from their devices. I take everyone's phones. There's no phones, no laptops, no nothing. When's the last time you spent, 4 days without your devices? Probably never.
Probably been. We did. we were on a cruise earlier this year.
Okay.
And that was a thing that that was a commitment that we made when we did that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're rare.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was fulfilling and everything else on that one. So the funny quick story about the solo cups, right? So it was something that I actually learned from or was inspired by Kevin Hart. So if you ever go on tour and see his comedy, him and all of his guys drink out of red solo cups, and that's to remind them where they came from.
Yeah.
And so I grew up literally 5 minutes from here. I used to ride my bikes. This was all woods.
Nice.
Where we're sitting today.
Oh, cool.
On trails back here. And grew up in a great, very happy middle-class family where a lot of our best dishes for storing food were country crock containers, that had been, all the butter had been used, and you washed them and put stuff, chili or whatever in them. Solo cups. And that was a thing that when Kevin Hart did it, I told Dale, who's my cousin that you met, I was like, dude, is there anything more Hyder than a red solo cup? And he was like, well, maybe, but not much. Not when it comes to drinkware. And I was like, bro, keep those. That's a thing. I want to make sure that we always we drink out of those as pay homage where we came from.
I got you. Hey, well, Solo.
But I was going to ask you, what's an alternative?
They have an aluminum cup, bro. Get the Solo aluminum.
I love it. I'm in. Man. So that's why I gave myself a 4. However, I walk about 30 miles a week.
Nice.
As part of my workout regimen, and literally a buddy of mine's in town, and he went on the walk with me yesterday, 2.5 miles, and it's a thing. We pick up trash all along the way and throw it in the garbage when we go home, just in our neighborhood.
Love it.
Just so anytime we see something on the ground, that's a thing. Pick it up, whatever we can do to make stuff better. I'm gonna give myself a 4 on that one because of the solo cups.
Good, man. Well, hey, picking up garbage, my that's something we all can do, right? Mm-hmm. My good buddy is the CEO and co-founder of 4Ocean, the largest ocean cleanup company in the world. 30 million plus pounds they pulled, from the ocean. My brother consults for them. He came out to one of my masterminds. I mean, there's people out there helping, become a part of the solution. And even your company, you can simply do 1% for the planet. The Happy Hustle is a part of 1% for the planet. We give 1% of our revenue to, to the companies that need it, that are sustainable organizations and nonprofits. So there's little things you can do. We
donate a lot to parks here in town too. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But you're right. It's if you have a home, you're gonna improve it and take care of it, I hope, and clean it and everything else. Well, at the end of the day, the planet is a home for us all, So I just we have a nice home. We're very blessed and I'm proud of it. And I try to treat everything the way we treat our home. That's that's the easiest way for us to just, how much effort shall we put into it? Well, if we match our home, I think we're doing pretty good.
There you go. I love it.
I'd say a 4 on that one.
All right. Well, we got 10 scores. So add them up. Okay. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. And if you're 40 or above, congratulations, you're happy hustling.
All right.
You're 39 or below, unfortunately, we got some work to do.
Got it.
Where'd you land, Nick?
I'm at 12, let's see, 17, 20, 25, 27, 31, 35. 35 total.
All right, man. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, you're not happy hustling right now. So
I'm not. And I'm actually for me, it's awesome to know that, because now I know I got work to do. That's, for me, it's very gratifying, and it makes me see clearly. That's the cool thing about framework. Yeah. And I would say, brother, I actually really enjoyed that. I learned a lot about it too.
Man. Yeah. I mean, and everyone out there, I hope that you actually went through that assessment and gave yourself a score, and, now you see where you're out of alignment, where you are lacking blissful balance, because this covers the personal and the professional side of life. And I found there's a lot of frameworks out there, but none of them went deep enough. For me at least, so I wanted something that was holistic, and we have the Happy Hustle Club. It's our high performing entrepreneurs. They are part of it, and we measure ourselves regularly every 2 weeks in these different areas of life. And we make pivots on the fly so that, you're constantly tweaking and adjusting where you're at in your blissful balance. And I will say this, this is like the number one principle of happy hustling. Truly. You must give yourself and these different alignments equal importance, but focus on one at a time. So give equal importance to each of these 10 different areas of life, these 10 alignments, but focus on one at a time. See, the problem is most people, when they're with their family, they're thinking about work. And when they're at work, they're thinking about their family. They're not doing either effective. They're not present in the moment.
Oh, man. Dude, that's so good.
Right?
That's so good. Yeah.
So that's it.
All right. So appreciate everybody taking the time to do that exercise with good old Nick over here, you know. Well, look, and brother, I got as much time as you got on this, because that, that was something that we didn't plan on doing.
Take your time.
That was great. But what else? Like, let's talk about what other directions would you like to get? Where would you like to go from here? Because we went way off the roadmap when we did that. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like that inside, underneath the hood look is incredibly valuable and something that I learned a lot from. But more importantly, something that it'll help me in future podcasts.
There you go.
With guests and everything else. So, where could we go from here? Because you got the 2.0 coming out, which they can pre-order right now too, by the way, right?
Yeah. And actually, if they do pre-order it, they get over $350 worth of legit bonuses. I mean, we got a ton of really cool stuff.
Where can they pre-order that?
thehappyhustle.com/book.
There you go.
Yep. So the new book, covers a lot of this stuff in a lot more detail. We'll have the audio book. We got, a course that parlays with it. I gave you the Blissful Balancer, which is that whiteboard fridge magnet. I wanted to make it analog. It goes on your fridge.
Your packaging's so good, man. I'm serious. I would say that your packaging is a 10 out of 10. Some of the best I've seen.
Thanks,
it's just really good.
Well, and that's a self-published book, man. I just did that as a lead magnet. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to give away IP control. That's why I self-published. My next one's hybrid, and then eventually I'll make a run at the, the bestseller list.
No doubt.
Go traditional. But the point is, you got to have frameworks. If you want to really create more income and impact, you got to have frameworks, so that's what that's all about.
Man, it's fantastic. Well, let's pour into these folks. This is a lot. I'm having a blast, dude.
Yeah.
What's a good direction to go from here? I got a ton of questions. We probably answered half of them in the exercise.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where would you like to go next, man? Talk to me a little bit about you played at a extremely high level internationally in soccer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about I know the sports background for me is everything. For me, it's a huge, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted my kids to play sports, is because it teaches them how to overcome failure and learn from it.
True.
You win or you learn. There's never a loss at our house home. Right? So talk to me about how the sports background helped you out a little bit. There's a ton of athletes that listen to this thing.
Yeah. Well, and I grew up playing everything. I played soccer, baseball, football, basketball. Played rugby in college too. I've been doing martial arts since I was young, so it's I was always an athlete. And I think that was actually, it might've been some questionable advice from my Kung Fu master. He was Master Chen. He was Cary, always have 7 plates spinning. Therefore, if one fall, you still have 6 plates. I was that checks out, that logic, you know? So I always was doing a lot of random things. Now, again, I'm fresh off of Rory quotes because we were just in it, but he says, when you have diluted focus, you get diluted results.
That's right.
So I had diluted focus with my sports career, but I ended up picking soccer. Got a soccer scholarship. Unfortunately, I was training at IMG. I was playing ODP, Olympic Development Program. My goal was to play pro and play for the United States of America. And unfortunately, I broke my ankle first game of my senior season. I was captain. We just came off a district championship, and lost all my D1 scholarships because they were. That's right. They don't want to invest in a player with a broken ankle in soccer.
It's a huge red flag.
Ankles are the worst thing for soccer.
I tell Ethan's teammates all the time, bro. They're hurt all the time. I'm guys, you're 14 years old. The next 2 years, the next level of baseball, coaches are going to be looking at you to decide if they want to recruit you or not. And if it's between you and another guy that are the same talent level, the same everything, if this guy plays and you're hurt all the time, they're going to put their money there. Like they can't, you can't help them if you're on the bench all the time.
No, that's your vehicle. That's how you serve the team. Like,
that's right.
So,
I don't think the new generation understands how important it is to play. Do you remember? So there's a baseball one that we talk about all the time called Wally Pipp. All the baseball guys know that. Do you know who Wally Pipp is?
Loosely.
So he's the guy that played first base for the New York Yankees. And until Lou Gehrig did. Basically, Wally Pipp took a day off for whatever reason, and Lou Gehrig played first base and then played the next like 2,100 games. Right? All because of one day. Yeah. And one guy came in and took that spot and owned it. Yeah. And changed the world in baseball as we know it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the Wally Pipp rule, that was always a big thing growing up in my house. Yeah. The Michael Jordan flu game wouldn't have happened by today's standards. Right. You know what I mean? So, and the greatest professional game I ever had, I'm going to tell I caught on the same days each week, usually. So we were in New Haven, Connecticut, which was our home field, and New York's right around the corner. And some of my buddies had big league teammates that were in town. And when they came in, limo picked us up full of Cristal and everything else. We'd go to Manhattan, tear it up, and come back. And I showed up without sleeping. Got off the limo, walked in, smelled like as bad as you can smell with all the wrong things. But I knew I wasn't playing. Yeah. Walked in the clubhouse, and I guess it was like the last time they wanted me to do that because a bunch of us did it. And so I looked on there. I was sitting in the clubhouse, kind of, not feeling great. And they were like, starting pitch comes, he goes, "Hyder, get dressed, bro. Like, what are you doing? We got to be out there 5 minutes to warm me up." I was like, "He's got you, man. That's all good." And they're like, "No, you're in the lineup today." I was like, "What?" The best game I ever had. I actually had to call time and go puke in the trash can of the dugout, I think twice that game. Got fined all kinds of money. Oh, geez. Best game I ever had, just because I didn't feel good and just autopilot, everything took over, The best games you play a lot of times when you're sick. So players, you got to play. Yeah. You got to play. But anyways, back to you and your soccer.
Well, yeah, you got to stay healthy. Unfortunately, that ankle injury plagued my career. I had like a couple different offers to play, one from like Montana State, one from Florida Gulf Coast down in Florida, and then one in Chicago at Elmhurst, and ended up playing in Elmhurst. It just never was the same. I couldn't like stay healthy. I would roll it all the time. With your muscles and the ligaments, it's like a rubber band. Once they stretch out, it doesn't, it doesn't like, it doesn't ever
heal, but the elasticity never.
Exactly. So I ended up taking off the fourth year, and I moved to Barcelona to study abroad. And then I ended up, I'd always dribble the streets and play pickup. And then there was a pro team that was training nearby. So in my broken Spanish, I begged the coach after a practice one day. I would show up every day, just like dribbling, training, and I begged him, and he was like, "What's this kid doing out there? Like this gringo, And so I begged him in my broken Spanish, and he let me try out the next day. Put me in at like the center back position, which I play for the last like 10 minutes, of the scrimmage, A team versus B team. It was like a 4th division team in Spain, which is like our MLS here. Yeah. At that time it was. MLS is getting better now. But anyway, had like the first touch, I hit this dime ball just screaming to the left forward, and they were getting their butts beat, the B team. And the left winger brought it down, first touch, bent it in, far post. And they were like, "Who the heck is this gringo who can hit a ball like that?" And I looked at my right foot like, how did we hit the ball like that? And ended up getting on the team, was making some money, playing in Spain a little bit. They spoke, Catalan, which is different than Spanish. So I didn't know what the heck was going on the field or anywhere. Thankfully, an Italian guy would translate for me who was on the team. Right. So that was cool, at least getting a little bit of chunk of change. I tried out for the Chicago Fire a little bit, had a crap tryout, but I ended up tearing my ACL because it was like my whole left side, my ACL or my ankle, my ACL, and then I separated my shoulder. So it was just injuries, man, plagued my career, but I still loved the beautiful game. I love sports. I love, just getting after it. I was always the guy who would work harder than pretty much everyone else. I was never the most talented or the
Likewise.
individual that was like, I was just like, I'll just outwork you and try
Yeah.
harder, you know? So that I think translates to business, translates to life. So yeah, that's it, man. And then I got into, you know, the biohacking game. I've always been, you know, interested. My mom was an OG biohacker. You know, I was raised very holistic. She was like a functional medicine doctor and
Make sure everybody knows what biohacking means.
Yeah, so biohacking, it's kind of like it's become a fad, but you know, I see it as the combination of ancient wisdom and modern science for total human optimization.
That's about as good as you can say it right there.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, so I was raised very holistic. Wasn't an easy childhood by any means, but like I do credit my mom. You know, there's definitely people who had it a lot harder, but I moved 24 times before the age of 18.
Wow.
A lot of mental, physical, emotional abuse. You know, I can you believe this, dude? I actually had anger issues when I was young. I had to go to anger management for years.
Really?
Dude, I was a loose cannon. I think just from this like tumultuous divorce and like a lot of that, you know, trauma.
Ain't it crazy how God uses us in so many ways, man? Dude.
Super crazy. But yeah, I mean, so I was a hothead and just like fighting all the time, up to no good, just, you know, but like I am grateful for my mom being a biohacker. Like just, like, dude, never been vaccinated in my life. I don't know what people's stance are. I don't really care, but that's my stance. Like I'm sitting pretty, never had antibiotics really. Like when we got sick, it was reach for the herb drawer.
That's right.
Like holistic remedies.
We've made a lot of transition ourselves at our home, and my daughter, who's 2, hasn't been vaccinated, and she's great and healthy as a horse and everything else, you know.
The Hit Streak is powered by Team Hyder. Team Hyder has been serving you for 11 years and has racked up over 20 national and local awards for excellence in all areas. When it comes to finding the right health plan, we need to consider your family's needs and your family's budget. That's what we do to serve you. To look further and to book an appointment, visit teamhyder.com.
This is, you know, tying it all into biohacking and being an athlete. Like people give away their power to other people in a white coat. They're like, oh.
There's a lot of trust that just like, you know,
blind trust.
40, 50 years ago, it was probably earned. It was a different time back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody had their family doctor and their neighborhood doctor. And it was like the family doctor was like a part of the family almost to a certain degree. And it is that same trust has been passed on to the next generation and the next generation. And we have to make sure that they're earning that trust every time.
Dude, you got to earn it. Do your own due diligence.
That's right.
Like it's sad to me how many people just blindly trust. And
how many years has mankind been here before all the crap, medicine? Yeah, like we made it this long.
Dude. It's so true. Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like if you get in a car accident, you break your arm, like yes, Western medicine is a blessing. Like,
absolutely.
Don't get your arm set.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's just not the cure for everything.
It's not the cure for everything. Like look at the mental health crisis right now.
I agree.
And all the pharmaceutical drugs. You know, you watch Painkillers on Netflix. It's sad. I lost a lot of people to overdoses.
I interviewed Dr. Stephen Lloyd, who's the doctor that the Dope Sick show on Hulu is based around.
Oh wow.
And he was who Michael Keaton played him in that show. Damn. And his story blew, when he sat right there, it blew me away. I met him at the prayer breakfast. Jeez. And the stuff he does for DC with the opioid crisis and everything else, it's 100% real, man. And that was a doctor that, you know, sitting there. And listen to that episode, guys. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we are treating the symptoms with Band-Aids and no one's looking at the root cause.
That's right.
Like, and that's what we would do with biohacking. Like, I shout out to my business partner, you know, he was like a savant at reading blood work. Like he could, and I believe truly, like you need to test, not guess. Like get your labs done, especially if you're an athlete listening to this, like get your labs done. And, you know, just cause like this supplement's working for your jacked friend doesn't mean it's supposed to be working for you.
Everybody's so unique.
Yeah. Everyone's unique. And, you know, a lot of people are just overdoing it with supplements and it's just become an expensive urine.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right.
Like, you really need to think about what your body needs and then supplement for that. But most people are overdoing it. I subscribe to the less is more approach. Truly, and I've done a lot of it. I've done stem cells with Dr. Kristen Camella, OG stem cell scientist. I just, I mentioned I hurt my ankle in men's league championship soccer game. I've been shooting myself up with BPC 157, peptide. I, do the saunas and the cold baths and all the things. But like at the end of the day, man, it's how I feel. It's the energy that I can bring to the table. It's, a lot of the basics that really people need to get back to.
The human body is so resilient.
Yeah.
And but when you pump in artificial things all the time, the body can become dependent on it and quit producing the things that makes it so resilient. It's everything's balanced, man. Everything's balanced, So I know for me, I've learned over the years that usually if I don't get sick very often, if I do, it's usually fatigue related where I just go and just forgot to sleep enough, going back to the exercise.
Yeah.
And I know that just a little Z-Pack for me can in 24 hours, boom, I'm back up and running, so maybe once a year, that's a thing where I'll get to that spot. If it doesn't, 24 hours later, it's like, all right, I call in, they send the Z-Pack to the pharmacy, boom, I'm good the next day. We don't take a lot of medicines, but we do take a lot of vitamins and a lot of supplements and greens and stuff like that. And our diet is the biggest factor in how we feel. And bro, we found a picture when my son was my daughter's age. I was 50 pounds heavier back then.
Damn.
And my wife, we were cracking up. Brad and I were showing each other fat pictures from when we were both overweight. And I showed them, and my wife saw mine and she just busted out laughing because it was just like a tub of lard sitting there, bro. I was just swollen and miserable, and it was all diet. It was 100% diet. I worked out back then similar to what I do now.
Yeah.
The only thing different was diet.
Diet's everything. Like abs are made in the kitchen.
That's right.
I vowed to always have a six pack. You will not ever catch me without one, not because of vanity, it's because it's a commitment I made to myself because I feel better when I do.
Do you find that for me, my commitment level with fitness mirrors my commitment level to family and everything else? That's just for me. That's I guess just because I worked so hard in sports, that training for the first 27 years of life, that for me, when I'm my best with my commitment and my routines to my fitness, that's usually mirrored in my faith, my family, and all of our finances too. It's that level of commitment.
Dude, discipline equals freedom, like Jocko Willink says, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You got to have discipline. A funny thing I do, I've been doing it, I can't even remember how long, but I do naked push-ups or pull-ups. Every shower I take is a trigger to do my naked push-ups or pull-ups. Yes, they're dong slapping, you're getting after it. My wife always is cracking up, but I haven't missed a shower.
To be a fly on the wall for those.
Right. But that's it. It's create triggers in your routine. For me, it's a trigger. We could get hashtag naked push-ups trending, hopefully. Let's go.
I like it.
Hitstreak, come on.
I like it.
But
be a lot of blurs on the screen when we
right. But you've heard the ice bucket challenge, but have you done the naked push-up challenge?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But anyway, that's the truth. Just creating triggers, being disciplined in your diet. And we would look at specifically with our biohacking clients, the vitamin and mineral deficiencies, right? The environmental genetic mismatches, and then the toxins. And a lot of people don't talk about the second one, your environment. It's a great studio, but the truth is these are manufactured blue light, right? A lot of EMFs, like electromagnetic fields that affect our mitochondria and our cellular DNA at the smallest level. Mm-hmm. We're breathing in recycled air. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, my buddy has a company called Nature Quant. It quantifies your nature dose. And most people, 97% of people are actually spending the majority of their time indoors.
Yeah, no, I just did this. I had an epiphany when we were down on the beach for a week. And, you always come back energized from the beach, right? I believe the whole reason is because it's the only time people have their bare feet touching the earth.
Yeah, grounded.
They're grounded. They have their feet in the sand, and they never get that the rest of the time. I think they would get a lot of the satisfaction they get from the beach if they would do that at home. I could be wrong. You should try it and let me know. You know what I mean? I know it's working for me and mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's something that we talk about a lot, but just having those bare feet on the earth, because the earth feeds you, bro.
Dude. And the vitamin D. Like, how many people they're going out and they're like caking their body with like sunscreen that's just literally a chemical.
That's right.
On the biggest organ in your body, which is your skin.
Yep.
And you're getting a fraction of the vitamin D that you actually need. The majority of people, especially who live above, I think it's like the 47th parallel on, the latitude line, they are not getting enough vitamin D.
Yeah.
If you live above a certain part in the United States, you're not getting enough vitamin D.
That's
like
right.
Even in Montana, I don't get enough vitamin D. Right. But I supplement it with my infrared red light sauna. Right.
That's right.
So you could supplement it. Yes. But just getting back to nature, if you're an athlete out there, getting back to the basics, test your home and your body. Test your home for mold and, test your water for chemicals. Test, like, I almost died in April from carbon monoxide poisoning. I passed out unconscious, cracked my head open.
Wow.
We had a leaky heater in my dad's ranch. Guy put the intake too close to the exhaust. It was just sucking in CO. Passed out unconscious. My dog saved my life last April, dude. I shouldn't be here right now. I had 16.9% carbon monoxide in my blood. 20 is the lethal dose. And that was after an hour of fresh oxygen from an ambulance. So it's like I was on death's door, but it's because my environment was faulty, right? It was leaking CO. A lot of people have so many toxins that are affecting their performance. Like, if you're really trying to be a game changer athlete and really like support your family with your, sports career, like, you need to think about these things.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't.
What do you think? So, man, we've the more people that I get to work with, I start to see, I've dialed everything down to the reasons that people quit. It comes to two reasons. That's it. One, they don't believe that whatever they're quitting, that it's actually like worth it. Like, so if somebody wanted to quit working for me, they actually don't think they can achieve their dreams through the opportunity with Nick, right? So it's either they don't believe with all their heart in whatever it is that they're quitting, or they don't believe that they're worth it themselves or that they can accomplish it. It's one of those two things. It's either that they have a belief issue with whatever it is they want to do or they're trying to do, or a belief issue in that they can actually achieve it. When I was recruiting insurance agents, man, dude, like, there was years where the average person that worked with us, 1 year it was $104,000, this is first year earnings, 104, 111, 116, even like 126 1 year. And I would ask people, I'd say the average person first year with me made 104. I said average on purpose. I'd say, what do you want to make in your first 12 months? And if it was anything close to average, I'm like, you just told me you want to be average. Is that it? That's not what we're looking for. And then my next question was, if they said, 150, I would literally ask them, what's the most you've ever made? And if it was like, dude, I made 40 grand. I'm like, all right, so why here? Why is it going to happen this time? It hadn't happened yet. Why here? I just wanted to know what they believe, because what they believe is, at the end of the day, what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And somebody told me one time, I made the comment, oh, dude, you gotta see it to believe it. And they're like, no, you got to believe it to see it.
Ooh,
and
hit that button.
That's right. And I was like, man, you're right. That's right. And that's where all the prayer and manifestation, everything else comes from. So knowing that that's probably one of the most common factors that you help people overcome with by framework. Yeah. Identify targets first of all, and identify solutions to get to those. Yep. People get in their own way. What advice would you have to people that, like, everybody starts, but not many people finish? Everybody has a New Year's resolution.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, what advice would you have for those people to get to the next step to get to you?
Well, I would say two things.
And who is your avatar, right? So who is your true avatar? Like, how do they say, that's the guy I need to, I'm at that place. Yeah. Like, I have my clientele at the production company is not necessarily the day one beginner. Yeah. It's a little bit more of an advanced avatar. So a lot of questions there. I'll let you go.
Yeah. I was like, well, let me answer the first one, which was more so around the mindset and how do you, get to where you want to go. Mm-hmm. you need to know where you want to go. And it sounds so simple, but dude,
The GPS.
I'm a bow hunter. Like if I pull my bow back and I don't have a target, I'm going to miss every time.
That's right.
But yet people will go out there and they don't have a clear target. So you have to have a clear target, and then you need to reverse engineer how to get there. Define what success looks like. What's a 5 look like for you in each of those 10 different areas of life?
There it is.
Right? And then reverse engineer how to get there. Like if you want to become an author and you're saying that you were going to put a book out in, a year, well, how many days do you need to write today, or how many hours do you need to write today to essentially equal a 10-page count every single day to then get to your 200, page, or word count that you're looking for, to then hit your publishing date, to like, you just reverse engineer the steps. It's not rocket science. None of this stuff that I talk about is rocket science.
I think that's the strongest point that you've made for me on that is that we make it bigger than it is. We make it harder than it is. It's not rocket science, and it's usually common sense.
But yeah, it is. And so I hope that answers, the first question. 100%. And then in terms of actually, motivating people, you mentioned motivating people. I want to say this because, Ed Milet, I was at his event with Rory. I was in the green room with all the like for his book launch. I was with all the hitters, talking to Frisella and Jim Quigg and all,
what a room.
Dude, it was an epic room. And Ed is who he is online as well as offline, and he said something recently that I was like, damn, that's good. And I want to say it here because you mentioned the vehicle, right? Like how do you motivate people? He said, your vision has to be big enough so that your team can fit their vision inside of yours.
Ooh, that's good.
Right?
That's good.
So if you're a business owner listening to this, or an aspiring entrepreneur, you need to create a big enough vision that the people who you want to work with you can fit their dream inside of yours. Right? And so that's really, I think, the game within the game. Motivating people, like, because you can't do it on your own. No one can. That's right. I have a team. You have a team.
That's right.
Fortunately, my team is quite lean. I got like 5 VAs in the Philippines and like a couple. I got a project manager, bookkeeper, stuff like that in the States. But I'm working like 20 hours per week. Like that's my sweet spot. Like I really don't work that hard or that much. When I am working, I'm working hard, but I'm not working that much. And that's my whole brand is lifestyle entrepreneurship.
Man, that's awesome, bro.
And so it's like the way I do that is one, by knowing my goal, all right, my vision, and helping those on my team, fit their vision inside mine with clear objectives. But also I focus on my MVTs, which are my most valuable tasks, to equal my EHR, my effective hourly rate. Right. And that's
like advanced time blocking, isn't it?
Basically.
Yeah.
And my buddy James Schramko talks about EHR, and my MVTs is something I just thought about, and I was like, damn, okay, if I only had 3 hours, especially now I got a newborn, so I'm like, my time is limited, man. And as I know, you're a father,
and your time with them is limited too, bro.
Yeah, man. Time is our most precious commodity.
That's right.
Use it, man. You got to use it wisely. So when I'm working, it's MVTs. What's my most valuable task? I think about my key 3 MVTs every day when I'm working.
Man.
So that's how you get her done, and you focus on their vision, and you make sure your tasks are working towards that vision, that target, right?
Got it.
Okay. And now the other component that you were talking about is my perfect target avatar, which is
so obviously the book, everybody's your avatar, right? It's a great starting place.
Basically, like it could serve anyone who really is seeking, more blissful balance and maybe is a little stressed or overwhelmed right now with life. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, like if you ascend up the value ladder, like I have the Happy Hustle Club, which is our community of high performing male, typically online entrepreneurs, 28 to 40, making over 6 figures, who are stressed and overwhelmed and want to achieve blissful balance. All right. And they, as a part of the Happy Hustle Club, they get to come to 2 of our 4 masterminds per year. We do 2 in the backcountry wilderness and then 2 skiing and snowboarding ones per year. We actually have one cool one coming up with Ben Greenfield. Speaking of biohacking, he reached out to do a biohacking event at his house. He wants to bring my guys out there, and we're going to do a whole like life optimization routine, like looking at your morning routine, afternoon routine, night routine, and like how to happy hustle throughout all the day, every day. So it's pretty cool. We have a couple masterminds. You can come to a mastermind first and then join the club, or you can come to the club and then, go to the masterminds. But if someone's interested in that, it's all at thehappyhustle.com. You could, check it out there. But man, that's the avatar.
I love it. And the book, The Happy Hustle, the 2.0 comes out 2024, right? Early.
Yep.
First, sometime right at the end of the first quarter.
Yes.
Beginning of the second quarter, right?
Yeah.
And
we just pushed the date, so but there's a ton of bonuses, and we're going to be doing a virtual online summit. There'll be a lot of stuff. If you pre-order now, you'll get a lot of stuff throughout the process. And they can get the old book too if they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's the biggest difference between the first book and the second book, would you say?
Dude, there's so many differences, but
that's all you need to say.
The professionalized design, development, and research that has been integrated. It's like it's a next level book, like compared to the first one.
That's awesome. We'll do I'm serious. The packaging is probably, and it's all what people like. This is my lane right here, dude.
Yeah,
I love this.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
I love it. And again, happyhustle.com is where they can find anything and everything based around the Happy Hustle.
Yes, sir.
They also need to caryjack.com,
yeah,
right, for more on you, and on Instagram, Cary at Cary_Jack. Bro, like, I've had a blast, man. Is there anything else, any final thoughts or anything else you want to leave everybody with today?
Dude, I'm just honored to connect and collab with you, and I'm stoked at what you're creating, man, because you got something really cool happening here, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. And
likewise,
love your energy. Looking forward to broing out in Montana when you're coming out,
bro.
We're making it happen, man.
That's right.
Get you on a horse, get you fly fishing.
I can't think of a better place to have a cigar.
Come on, let's go, man. So yeah, we go to the hot springs, have a cigar, man. It's a good spot. So yeah, I would just say, I'll leave everyone with, again, what I truly believe in is balance equals happiness. And
we don't want to forget too, consequences create commitment.
Hey, yeah, man, consequences create commitment.
That's strong.
Yeah, that could be a book.
It should be a book.
Yeah,
that's really strong. It's definitely a signature keynote.
Yeah, you're right. It could. Anyway, that's really it, guys. I mean, put the happy in your hustle. Don't settle. Like, really.
Stop fighting for your own limitations.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes, unfortunately, we hold ourselves back, and I hope this can just be a little bit of inspiration and education to help you, step into that next chapter of your life and reach your fullest potential. And remember, again, to enjoy the journey. Right.
That's strong, man.
Happy hustle all the way.
The Hitstreak is powered by Rack Financial. When it comes to your credit card merchant processing, Rack Financial is efficient, reliable, and trusted. At the end of the day, when it comes to processing your credit card payments, they make it simple, the way it's supposed to be. Check out Rack Financial.
Thanks so much for hanging with me today. This was fantastic. Thanks for putting me through the exercise, dude. Like, look at the value old Nick got today.
Yeah, man.
So, well, dude, it was, again, it's all like, we're shooting on a day that I usually don't shoot on. And it's like, bro, like, blessings come in all different shapes and sizes. And you changed flights to accommodate make this happen today, bro. Like, and I hope we're good to get you there on time. I hope we're going to be
I don't know what time it is, but
we're going to figure it out real quick. Well, brother, Cary Jack, lifestyle entrepreneur, author and founder of the Happy Hustle, and top 1% globally ranked podcast host,
And
right?
you're coming on my show, the Happy Hustle podcast.
No doubt.
Let's go.
And I'm excited for that, man. So the Happy Hustle, you can get at happyhustle.com 1.0 right now, right? The original and the second one's coming out soon. You should pre-order now to make sure that you get all those bonuses. That's where the real value is, man, on top of those books. Like you guys incentivize it for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's something I'm just going to do for your audience. Like, I don't do this often, but I love, first of all, you and I know we're just recent contacts, but I feel the love, dude, truly. And anyone out there who actually gets the book and reads it, send me a DM on Instagram with your number one takeaway. I'll have my team send you a 20-minute Calendly booking link, and I'll personally get on a call with you.
Wow.
No objective, like no ulterior motive, just to help you put the happy in your hustle. We'll go through your scores and I'll see how I can potentially add value to you. Time's my most precious commodity. I don't know how many people will actually hit me up on this, but if you send me your number one takeaway through Instagram, I'll have my assistant send you my Calendly link.
I will. I bet Connor does too. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you're crazy if you don't.
There it is.
You're crazy if you don't. And I owe you I got 3 weeks to get out and golf. I will
Don't lose that G.
No, I will follow up, baby. I will follow up.
Text you.
I promise. No doubt. That's how we roll.
All right.
Well, folks, big shout out and thanks to the man himself, Cary Jack, for hanging out with me today. Man, what a blessing and a great day, folks. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of the Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.
Peace and love.